life experiences to talk about that occurred outside of our group.
Yeah. So I probably shouldn't say this to you, but when I first started Tai Chi, I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life because it's so slow and weird and you don't get it. But I just wanted to be respectful for, the instructors and my friends. And so I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do this weird stuff for a few minutes. But then when I actually did it, like I said, you don't realize what it's doing until you realize it did it. And so I'm like, wow, I do feel better. And so just relating that to other people, it's a very literal way for me to, like I said, take pause for my, outgoing extroverted tendencies and to say, I might not get this at first, but if I can wait a minute, talk to people, figure out there might be a reason, it's like the dumb Tai Chi is actually really cool and life-changing. So it's just a good reminder for me to be patient.
When I was the noob, as quote unquote, as the kids say nowadays, the new guy, I was a greenhorn. There were a lot of people that were a lot more experienced, and me being so young, I got harassed a lot. And I didn't understand the harassment. I thought they were just bullying me. And so it really became a huge learning experience that I was the new guy, and I got to see how other people taught things. I got to see other styles and their ability to create health and well-being by using different methods, as well as futile and trying to argue with people sometimes when you think you know it all and you're like, oh, I'm just a little guppy.
I definitely have people uncomfortable with what Tai Chi is, or what, which would surprise me. Like if I wanted to practice it at a church, some churches were uncomfortable with that. If I wanted to, offer it as an option for, women that are surviving abuse, they would think, no, that's kind of a weird, what's that mumbo jumbo energy stuff you're going to be talking about, that sort of thing, if that's what you mean. I've certainly encountered that. But I've also encountered it as, really positive too. We did Rana should tell the story about when we did the presentation at the Rotary. And it was just me and Wakas.
He remembers.
I see him smiling.
And that was a total group of people that were business people. None of them, it was Kathy's group. And so that's why we were invited there. And they were, again, all business folks. This was their Rotary breakfast. There was I think probably 100 folks, maybe. I don't know.
Let's do it, yeah.
And we were up on a stage, and
so it was just, they had to move the Rotary bell for us to get up there. It was a little, it was neat. They ended up all being very great and gracious. But initially, I was uncomfortable with the concept that I was going to be trying to teach them something meditative and, how it would be interpreted. But the story of this is that we had an alarm go off. Do you want to tell this story, Russ, or do you want me to?
You can tell that story.
So, speaking of habits that we were trying to set in our early life together, we got a alarm clock that was supposed to cause you no longer to snooze. And so it had a propeller on top of it, and that when the alarm began to go off, the propeller would fly out across the room and you would have to go get it and put it back in order for it to turn off the alarm.
And it's important to notice that the alarm was a really hazard siren.
So I could not find our Bob clock that day to take to the presentation, and we needed a clock so that we could stick with our time frames because we only had 30 minutes, I think. And so I brought that clock and did not realize that it had been set to go off. Either that or I had a ping and it went off anyway. But it's sitting there on the stage. I'm in the middle of my introduction, all nicey talking about being calm and relaxed and how we deal with stress in our life, and suddenly it starts going off. And it goes off, but we can't get it to turn off because I did not bring the propeller. Because I didn't think we would, why would it go off? So Wakas is like trying to make it get quiet, and you could not get it to turn off.
Wait, is that what he buried?
So what did you do with Wakas? He took it, put it in the coat closet, like.
That's right.
And afterwards, we went back, and it was still going off. But we
I only
continued
buy
on.
the best alarm.
We continued on. We continued on and kept calm.
This is a perfect example on how to stay calm.
I think that is what I said.
Good.
But it was definitely not intentional. And he was the best. I mean, best wingman ever to just like, he picked it up and like ran from the room.
I got this.
Run. I if you recall correctly, because you were teaching how to stay calm, I got it, walked slowly towards the closet, and once I got to the closet, I'm like, what do I do with this? It's still making a sound. And it was colder weather, but not too cold, I recall. And there was a jacket. I wrapped inside the jacket, and then I put that inside one of our bags, and it kept ringing. So I'm like walking away, thinking, will it be loud enough by the time? So luckily, it was not loud enough where we were. Where we were at. So yeah.
And you brought up something, Master Dowd, especially when talking with, I say outside folks. I don't energy or chi, because in the like, oh, you in that hocus pocus. Yeah.
I didn't know that when I first, when we
Yeah.
first got involved with, the first couple of sessions. It's like, this is really cool. We're learning about chakras. And did you know that, you have this like Mutalahara,
I got some of that at Baskin Robbins. We learned pretty early on that don't proselytize. The fun thing that we're learning in Tai Chi, if somebody asks a question,
Yes.
you give a very general response. And if they dive deeper, you go with them. But otherwise, it's like,
Yeah. Tai Chi is pretty cool.
yeah, it's fun. You do that every Saturday?
Yeah.